let's create a fresh workspace. So if you move my head over to the right, so at the very top, where there's that drop down, those are your workspaces.
Uh-huh.
And let's add another account. Join or create, yeah, join or create works.
This one?
Yeah,
Trying to create a workspace.
perfect. So we will do for my team, passion project. Okay, continue. Sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and add a new team space. So right now it gives you Passion Project HQ team space.
All right.
Go ahead and hit plus. We'll call this dashboard.
Dashboard.
Perfect. All right, so let's see here. So I'm just getting used to it on seeing it from
The iPad. I
perspective.
could
Yep.
switch over. I could switch over to my desktop if it makes it easier.
We'll continue with this for a minute. So go ahead and click on tasks real quick on the left.
Say it one more time. Tasks.
Yeah, so on the left, let's just click through what it gives us to start with. So, okay, let's click on projects. Let's look at board view on projects.
Board view.
So right there, yeah. Okay, planning in progress. Go ahead and click on all. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. I'm just going to show you how this is set up. So obviously project name, status, who's it assigned to, right? You have your date column. Each column is what's called a property. Each property has a different type. So the name property is a text property. The status property is a special type of select field called status. Go ahead and click on the status property. So where it says status at the top row there, and click on edit property. So here you can see this is where you can actually set custom statuses. Right, to do, in progress, and complete. And then within to do, let's say that you have backlog, but then maybe you want to add one that says like do next. You would be able to add that there.
Okay.
Yep. And so I'm just going to give you this kind of quick overview of the anatomy of Notion. And then we'll go in and actually build from scratch so you can get really comfortable with it and have that muscle memory.
Okay.
Priority, that's what's called a select property. So you can select one thing. If you click on edit property, you'll see the options, right? So you can select one thing at a time. Okay, you can hit done. Completion is a number field with a percentage. And then blocked by is what's called a dependency, which I'll show you later. So if you go to timeline, so you have different views on this database at the top there, yeah? So a dependency is basically, see where there's that orange arrow?
Yeah.
It's basically telling us that the sample project is dependent on getting started.
Right.
And the sample project user education is dependent on getting the previous one started.
Okay.
So that's what's called a Gantt chart. Notion calls it a timeline.
A Gantt chart?
Yeah, Gantt. Gantt.
Gantt.
So going back to this concept of databases, interfaces, and algorithms, what you'll find is that if we go back to all, so all is your database, right? This is your spreadsheet. Everything is just a database, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 3 views. Notion calls them views. You have all, and then you have board, timeline, and active. So go to board. This is just showing your database in a different view or a different interface.
Interface. Gotcha.
Right? So this is taking your data that you normally view in a spreadsheet, and it's showing it in a board view. Now go ahead and click on timeline. Same exact information, but different interface.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with active. So if we go to active, now this is back to the spreadsheet view or table view,
Mm-hmm.
but as an interface, it's doing a couple of special things. It's grouping your rows by status. So you can see that it's separating the planning group from the in progress group.
Right.
Right. So now if you click on next to the word new, there's 3 dots. Click on layout.
Layout.
Yeah. So Notion has 6 interfaces to choose from. So every time you have a database, usually the default is a table or spreadsheet, but maybe you want to see it as a table, maybe you want to see it as a board, maybe you want to see it as a timeline or a calendar, maybe you want to see it in list view or gallery view. Those are your 6 interfaces that Notion gives you to work with. Now, if you click on gallery real quick, just tap on gallery, you'll notice that the options change a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So go back to that 3-dot menu next to new. So these are your view options. Go ahead and click on layout. And without hitting done, go ahead and click on each one. Go ahead and click on list. Click on calendar. See how each interface gives you different options to choose from?
Right. Show time on that.
Yep. So we'll go back to table. And we can go ahead and hit done. Or sorry, instead of hitting done, go ahead and hit back. So we just looked at the layout options. That's where you can switch, the major properties of what does the interface for this view look like. Go ahead and click on properties. So right now, this database is connected to tasks, is blocking, and summary, but they're not shown on the view.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you wanted to turn those columns on, you could just hit the little eyeball, which you don't need to do right now, but you can turn those on. And if you didn't care about seeing, like right now, you're the only person using this Notion account. So like technically you don't need to see that you're the owner of this task. So you can click on the eyeball to hide that.
Mm-hmm.
And now your view is more streamlined.
Okay.
So that's how you choose what columns are in the view or what items are being shown on the view. Go ahead and hit back. So filter, right now you can see that this, we're on the active view. It's filtering, only showing us stuff that's in progress. Right? You could also filter by dates and owner, but it's only actually filtering by what's in progress. Filters are going to be your #1 way to make different views. You're going to, when you make a view of like, I just want to only see my stuff that's in progress, or I only want to see the stuff that's to do next, or I only want to see the high priority. Filters allow you to save views exactly with the way you want them to be. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So let's go back. Sorting is pretty straightforward. What do you want to sort by? Grouping is one of my favorite tools. No matter what view you're in, you can pretty much start to group your stuff either by tag or status. or topic or whatever. And grouping is a really nice way to organize the data. And you can even sometimes group by a group and then a subgroup, which I'll show you later. If we hit back, automations we won't get into now. If you click on customize projects, there's some extra goodies in here, which we'll look at another time. But there's some goodies in there, like subtasks.
Yeah.
So like now if you hit done, we'll go off of this, or you can just tap off of the side. So like right now, if you wanted to see what are the subtasks for getting started with projects, there's not like a little toggle, but if you were to turn on subtasks, you'd be able to put things underneath that, which is a really great feature. We'll save that for later. So again, you have, right now we're in the projects database, and there's 4 views. There's 4 interfaces that are customized. You have the active view, the timeline view, the board view, and all view. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, if you scroll to if we go back to tasks now, so this is the tasks database. And what are the 3 views or 3 interfaces?
By project, board, and all tasks.
That's right. Now, what makes this view special is, if you notice, it's got the subtasks turned on. So if you open to add a new task, you could actually add things underneath.
Gotcha.
Right? So that's the subtask capability that's turned on. And if we scroll to the right, let's see here. It should be showing us by project. Okay, go back to the left. So what this is right now is this is sorted by project. So add new task and invite new team members. That is assigned to the getting started with projects and tasks project.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if we look at, let's go to all tasks view. So that's a table that's just everything. And scroll to the right. See where it says project? That's what's called a relation. So that column is actually connecting to the projects database that we were just on. So
I see.
Yep. So that's the list of projects that are in the projects database. So that's how you link 2 separate databases to each other, is through what's called a relation.
Okay.
And relation is what makes Notion so powerful. So how do you make a relation? So if you go to the right and add a new column.
Right here?
Nope. That'll add a new row.
You
can add a new column.
I see.
Yep. And if you either can start typing RE to filter this list, or you can scroll down and grab relation. There you go. So now click on relation, and you can relate this this column to anything else. So you can say, I want this task related to a specific meeting, and you could actually relate it to the meetings database.
Okay.
Right. So that's the idea of connecting separate things to each other.
Let me grab this charger real quick. Okay.
All right, cool.
Good.
So go ahead and hit back or done. Okay, so now if we look at any of these other databases, we can see how things relate. So let's look at Wiki next. Okay. let's see, there should be a way to minimize the sidebar on the left so you can see this better.
Let's see. Let me go into the app actually.
Okay. Sweet.
Okay, a little better.
Okay. Okay, so this is letting you create a new wiki from scratch. We don't need to worry about that necessarily. Go ahead and use company home and hit get started. So what this did is it just generated us a dashboard or a wiki with a whole bunch of pages and things inside of it. But I'm going to teach you how to do things from scratch. Each one of those lists should click to an individual page. So if you roll your mouse over where it says getting started or mission, vision, values, right? So go ahead and click on that. Right, that takes you to a new page, and inside that page, it's got a whole bunch of data.
All right.
If you open up the outliner on the left, you can toggle company home open. And you can actually open up these toggles and see what the structure or the outline of this Notion system.
Right.
So the way that it works is you basically, the wiki feature, or it's just pages with nested pages inside of pages and databases inside of pages.
Right. So now I'm in here.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then it shows up top too, right?
Yep. It shows kind of where they're nested. So that's how you would navigate that.
Nested.
It's often really useful to look at how other template creators or how Notion themselves set things up. But I'm going to show you in a few minutes. We'll start from scratch, actually.
Okay.
I just want to kind of give you the overview. Now, there's a search button at the bottom left, and I believe you can also hit Command K in order to search. Yep. So, like, let's say we wanted to find the mission, vision, values. Just go ahead and type in MI. There you go. You can hit enter or click on it, and it takes you straight there. So Command K is a really useful tool, shortcut. There's also something on the bottom right. See that little AI button on the bottom right? Looks like a couple little stars.
Yeah.
Go ahead and click that. You can say, tell me about my workspace, or so it'll actually generate some AI responses based on whatever you ask it. You can say, what tasks should I do next?
Nice. Schedule kickoff meeting. Build data dashboard.
So you can see if you roll your mouse over, it actually is showing you what sources it's coming up with that based on, right? So it's basing that on your tasks database and knowing what's in your task database.
Right.
So it's really smart, which is cool. All right, so you can click off of that. That's what's called Notion Q&A. It's basically your ability to chat with your whole Notion system.
Okay.
Ask Notion or Notion Q&A, I think it's called. All right, so let's go ahead and delete this company home wiki. So if you click on the three dots next to where it says company home on the left, yep, you can delete that. Let's go ahead and look at the docs page real quick. So right now this is showing us in list view. Let's go ahead and click on all. And let's see how they set up their docs. So basically this is a database with documents, and they just tag it by what type of document it is. Is it a product document? Is it an engineering document? Or is it a guide?
It's gotcha.
Right. Let's go ahead and open up one of those. So if you click on one of those rows. Every row is basically a page. So you can open up any row.
Any row, so I could just click like anywhere.
Click on where it says open.
Cool.
And now you're inside of that.
I'll see.
Yeah. And what you need to know about this is at the top is the same properties that are in the spreadsheet. So this is, if you go to the very top, you can edit all the spreadsheet columns right under where it says example brainstorm below. Created by, the date, the tag.
Oh.
And if you open up that, so that's where you would edit while you're on the page itself without having to go back to the spreadsheet view. You can actually edit all the properties. And you can even add a new property, such as a link or something else.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so adding a property is the same thing as adding a column to your database. And if you click on add a property, let's go ahead and add a URL. And hit done. And you can click off. Yep. So now you have a URL field. You could put a link that's important. You could do things like add a checkbox. You could also add a relation. So let's say that we wanted to relate this to either a project or a task. Let's go ahead and add a property. Let's type in RE, yep. Relation, and let's relate this to a, what do you want to relate it to, the project or the task? Let's relate it to projects. And before you hit add relation, you can decide, do you want this document to also show up on the projects database? So if you want to be able to, when you're on the projects database, if you want to be able to see what documents are related to that project, then go ahead and show on projects.
Okay.
I almost never use the limit, but you could say, you know, set the limit to only 3 documents per project.
I see.
You know, you can do something like that, or one page, or just 1 per project, but we want no limit. And go ahead and hit add relation. And hit done. And so now if you click on projects where it says empty, you can assign that to a project and it'll give you the list of projects in that database that you can sort by.
See.
Yeah, and so you could search, if you had a ton of projects, you use that little search term in order to do that. So now if we go back 1 step, so hit the back button at the top. And if you scroll to the right, you'll see that we can't see the relation, but we did add a relation property. So the reason we can't see that is because the property is hidden. So if you click on the 3 dots next to new, go to properties, and you're going to want to show the URL and the project. There you go, and hit done. There you go, nice. All right, so now you can go in bulk and add and connect them, all 4 of those items, to the right project. Another little trick, if you scroll to the left, let's go ahead and freeze the column. So like right now, if you start scrolling to the right, you can't see what it's which row you're working on, right? You don't know which product's what. So if you click on title on the column, yeah, click on that and freeze up to column. Now when you scroll,
Oh,
your little trick, right?
nice. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so let's go back and let's look at the dashboard next. Okay, so dashboard has nothing on it right now. So you can either start with a table, a board, a list, a timeline, a calendar, or a gallery, or you could pick from some of the templates below. I'm going to teach you how to build from scratch. So go ahead and click either empty page or where it says tap here to continue with an empty page. Cool. So your number one tool in Notion is called the slash command. There's two ways to add a block to your Notion page. You can either hit that little plus button on the left, go ahead and hit it, and then choose what you want. So those are all the types of blocks you can add to a page. Or you can hit slash on your keyboard, and that pulls that up. And if you start typing, it'll give you, it'll basically hone it down. So if you wanted to add a video, let's say, type in B, and it goes right there, and you can hit enter to add a video real quick.
Right.
So now if you want to delete that, you can click there to delete it. Yep. So let's go back and click there, and let's hit slash toggle, so TOG. So these are the toggle menus. This is how I keep things organized. So go ahead and put a H2, so a toggle heading 2. The heading 1 is always the biggest font. Heading 2 is medium font. Heading 3 is smaller font, basically.
Okay.
So let's call this schools.
Schools.
Yep. And let's drop down that little toggle with the triangle. And now what we're going to do is click right there. So we're going to add a block inside and hit slash. And if you scroll down, I'll tell you when to stop. We're looking for databases, but we want a specific type of database. So we're going to add an inline database to this page.
Inline.
Yep. So you can either start with any style database, but I usually start with database inline.
Where's that?
So see where it says stop? Under timeline view, it says database dash inline.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Cool. And call this schools. So right now you have Passion Project is a school. You also have these, you're also in my school, right? So you're in Mastermind School Builders. Okay. And now we can tag these. So Passion Project, you can tag that as, my school, let's say.
Select or create one.
Yep, so just start typing.
My school.
Okay, and then go ahead and hit done. And then you can do member, or I'm a member, or just write member. Yep. Okay, done. And now we can add another column on whether it's a free or paid school. Right, so go ahead and click on add. And we're going to do a checklist in this case, or we can do a select. So checklist basically is just either on or off, right? Whereas select, if you think you're going to have more than just the two options, you can use a select field. So let's go ahead and use a select field. And we're going to call this free or paid.
Yeah.
Now you can add the options below. And go ahead and add another one, paid. Cool. And you can sort the order with those little 6 dots to the left of free and paid. You could either, you could do that basically.
Cool.
Okay. So let's hit done. So right now you've got Passion Project is free. Cool. Now let's add a third one.
How did you freeze it? Oh, right here. Boom.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and add a third one called Passion Project dash paid. So we're going to add another row.
Another row.
Yeah, on the left side. Yeah. Cool. You'll tag that as my school. And that one's going to be paid.
Gotcha.
Now let's create a relation because the Passion Project paid is related to Passion Project, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the plus button. Let's do a relation. And you're going to relate that. You don't, so now we can relate that to the school's database, which you just created. We don't need, do we need separate directions? Go ahead and click on the question mark where it says separate directions.
Oh.
So let's see, create separate properties for each direction of a two-way relation useful for modeling parent tasks. We don't need that. So go ahead and create it. And hit done. And so now you can connect to those two. Yeah.
Connect them.
Sweet.
Cool.
Now Notion does this weird thing where by default you can't set a page to full screen. Kind of annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So on the top right corner of the app, go ahead and hit those three dots.
Right here.
Yep. And turn full width on. Now you can see that that it takes up the whole page, which is real nice.
All right.
Okay. So we've added school, or schools, a list of schools. Now let's go ahead and add a new toggle so it stays organized. So hit slash.
Anywhere? Right here?
Yep. And type in H2 and go ahead and click on H2 toggle heading. Yeah. And we're going to call this one members or people. Okay. Go ahead and toggle that open. And you can hit slash inline. So hit slash and type in the word inline. Yep. And we will call this, you can call that members. Okay. You can add yourself, Zahi. You can add me.
I don't remember.
Huh? Massion, M-A-S-S-I-O-N. Cool. And then we can relate that now. So let's go ahead and add a relation property. Relate it to the school.
Olivia.
And then the question is, do we want to show it on schools or not? I don't think we need to show who the members are there. So perfect. Done. So now you can, basically you're part of all three of those. So hit the little plus button or click on each one. Yeah, that works. Done. Cool.
Cool.
All right. So that's how you link those two. Now what we can do is we can add pictures in a couple ways. So if you want to add a thumbnail or an image to go with it, we can either add a file or we can have it select from your cover image or page content. So let's go up to schools and we're going to add another view. So see where it says table?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and click on add. And go ahead and do a gallery view. And okay, so the card preview right now is whatever you put inside of the page, it's going to give you a preview of that. If you wanted, go ahead and click on that. You could change it so that whatever you set the page cover to be, or if we add files and attachments, it can pull from the files and attachments.
Okay.
So right now, let's do page cover. And let's see, what else do we need? Open pages, we can change that to side view. That means that when you click on a page, it opens it up from the side rather than from the center. Perfect. So let's go ahead and call that view School Gallery. Yeah, it done. And so now you can swap between gallery view and table view.
Gotcha.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and kind of adjust some properties here. So I like the School Gallery. You should be able to click and drag School Gallery to the left of table view because we want that to be our default view. Sweet. And let's click on the 3 dots next to new.
Next to new up here.
And click on the gallery on the layout where it says gallery. So let's see here. We're on mobile, so it doesn't give us the same options. If you're on desktop, it would allow you to select whether or not you want to use small, medium, or large thumbnail images. Go ahead and hit back. And let's show some properties. Yep. So right now we want to know, we don't need to show whether it's free or paid. We do, and we don't need to add that. So let's add a new property. Click on the one that says website. We can just select that real quick. Change that to school link. And this is where you'll paste in the link to get to that school real quick. And now if you hit go back. Oh no, oops, I apologize. I should have had you hit done.
Oh, I guess it is already there.
Oh, okay, I guess the back did work. Okay, cool. So school link is shown. Perfect. And what else do we want to show? So go ahead and hit back. And let's group. We want to group our schools by whether you own them or whether they're someone else's. So group it by the tags. Cool. So now we've separated which ones are you a member of and which ones are your schools. So you can hit done. Now, if you want to set a image, we can either add a column to the database for files and media, basically add a new property where you add files and media, or we can add the files and media as a cover. So go ahead and click on Passion Project. And at the top, see where it says add cover? That basically just puts a pretty little picture at the top. Okay. So let's go ahead and hit add cover. So you can change that. So click on change cover. And if we use Unsplash, you can search, just type in passion or something like that. So maybe grab the one that says passion on the 3rd row on the right side as an example.
Right.
And on desktop, I know you can adjust the
drag it.
Yeah, you can drag it up on desktop, readjust it. But now if you go back, what you'll see you now have a thumbnail image. So this is one of the tools or tricks that I do to kind of build menu systems in Notion is I'll create a gallery view and then use these thumbnail images to kind of sort my to sort it accordingly.
Right.
And to make it easier to click around and find my way to stuff. So we have schools, we have members. Up next, we could do things like projects and tasks database. We can come up with all kinds of things to do next. So let's see here. You think of what we want to do next. Let's go to table view inside the schools. And now what we're going to want to do next is we're going to want to add a status, right? So let's go ahead and add a new property on the right side, like adding a new column.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Status. We can adjust these later, but let's see here. So have you started this yet? Is it in progress? Is it done? So I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and hit done. And we can go ahead and set passion project is in progress. The paid one is not started and mastermind is in progress. Right. Now, if you want, you can also go ahead and click on status, the status column. Let's edit property. And we can actually adjust the status. So for instance, you know, like if you're no longer a member of something, under complete, you can add another option. So hit plus on the complete option. And we can call that exited or, you know, whatever for no longer a member. And then let's change that to red. Okay. And then put that under done. So kind of drag that down. So that's how you can adjust like your status fields. So we hit done. So if you've been a member of something, you're no longer a member. There you go.
Okay.
Cool. All right. How are you doing for time? How much time did you block off for today?
I'm good. However long you want to go for.
Sweet. All right, cool. So we've got schools, we've got members. Let's go ahead and add a new, actually, let's see here. So let's go to school gallery now.
School
on the
gallery.
top left.
Boom.
Gallery view. And now you can add in, you want to show the property. So do you remember how to show properties?
Right here, right.
Yep. Click on properties and you want to show that status that you just added. Sweet. Done.
Okay. And then if I add like directly to here, it'll put it directly in member.
That's right. It'll auto tag it to that.
Gotcha.
That thing. So that's how you can quickly add. So like one of your next things might be to go and grab schools that you're a member of currently and add them in here and then mark whether they're paid or not. So actually that's the other thing we want to show. So go back to table. And okay, so we've got free or paid. Right now we're not showing on whether it's free or, let's see here. We have tags, free or paid. So you want to show whether it's a free or paid.
So we go properties, free or paid.
There you go. Sweet.
Gotcha. Sense.
So right now we're sorting our schools by whether or not you're a member or if it's your school. Go ahead and add another view. So there's a plus button to the right of table there. And we're going to add a board view. And we want to sort before you hit done. I usually keep the card sizes small. So you can hit card size small. You can card preview. If you want an image thumbnail to go with the card, which I always like, change that to the cover. And then what we want to group by is we want to group by status. So that's good. I like to turn on color columns. Okay, perfect. So, and then call this, you can call it board or no, instead of board, call it status. Okay, so now you can see there's a column for what's not started, a column for what's in progress, and you can add more columns, and you can choose which views you want to, or which properties you want to see. So let's go ahead and edit what properties you see. So right now you don't need to select whether or not you want to see the status because it's already grouped by status. But you may want to see whether it's free or paid, if it's related to another school. You're probably going to want the school link and tags. Let's turn on tags as well. There you go. Sweet. And you can even do it with a sort now. So there's a couple ways to sort. One is through that same 3-dot menu, or there's a shortcut to sort. If you move your mouse up to the top right there, turn on my annotations as well. Yep. Oh, let me just turn on my annotations. I'll show you. One sec. React. Bear with me for a sec.
All good. Yeah, the reason I didn't jump on my desktop is because it doesn't have a camera.
Gotcha.
So I got my iPad for Zoom meetings and whatnot. I need to get a MacBook.
Yeah, MacBooks are great. All right, I can't find the button I'm looking for on my thing. So if you just go ahead and move your mouse up to the left of where it says new. Yeah, so that one's your edit, your options. Go to the left. That lets you see in full page. That lets you search. The next one over is sort, and the next one over is filter. So go ahead and hit sort. And we're going to sort it by free or paid. And you can choose whether it's ascending or descending, but go ahead and hit done. And then on the right side, you can either choose to save that view that everyone who sees this page sees it the way that you're seeing it now, or if you're just doing it that way for yourself, you don't have to, but hit save for everyone. So that's how you sort any table. We don't need to filter this now, but, or actually let's do this. So let's add another view called My Schools. And I assume that you either want to see it in gallery or board view. Sweet. And now let's add a filter. And filter it by tags. And filter only the ones that are My School. There you go. Done. Save for everyone. And that's how you filter it, just by your stuff.
Gotcha.
Makes sense. So that's a pretty good intro to there. Let's go ahead and switch gears and start building out more of your system here. So right now we have our schools, we have our members. You're going to need things like courses. So let's go to the bottom. And let's hit slash. And let's add a little checklist. So you can start typing CH. There you go, to-do list. So what other databases do we want to add to this system? We're going to want to add courses and lessons.
Should I make 2 out of that, or just courses and lessons?
Up to you. Yeah. Okay. You're going to want to add, hit enter. I would say something like projects and tasks. Events. And then you have files. And maybe you want something like goals or initiatives, like your bigger goals or initiatives. And is there anything else that you want to keep track of that we'll build databases for?
What about like for marketing stuff? Like if I want to start running ads and stuff.
Yep, so you can do, yep, you can add ads.
Ads, marketing, ads. Oh.
Okay. Sweet. So that's a pretty good start. So we can add more stuff to that as you go. If you're able to click and drag and select all of those, we'll let you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Try clicking from off to the left or from underneath, so you can try and select all the blocks. Oh, that didn't work.
Right here, probably.
Try from underneath, maybe.
From underneath.
Yeah, from down there.
I don't know why it doesn't want this one.
Oh, okay, no worries. I was just going to have you put those in a toggle, but that's okay. Don't worry about it right now. So underneath that, let's go ahead and hit slash H2 and go ahead and toggle heading. And let's just call this a database template.
Database template.
So rather than doing this from scratch every time, we're just going to create a couple of standard databases or a standard template, and then you can just duplicate this every time you want to add a new one. So hit slash inline. There you go. Call this database template. And those three dots next to where you just typed, hide database title. You don't need it there because you already have the name of it in the toggle area, right? And so this is where we will go ahead and do a few things. So we're going to add a status.
Right here.
Yep. Cool, hit done. Go ahead and freeze the name column. Sweet. Let's go ahead and add a relation, because just about everything is going to relate. Everything we do is going to relate back to a course usually. So, I mean, to a school. So let's relate that to a school. We don't need to show it on schools, so that's fine. Done. And let's see here if there's anything else that we need to see right away. Go ahead and scroll up. We've got members, we've got schools, tags. Okay, cool. So let's go back down. And let's add a few standard views. And the idea here is we're just setting up a starting point to save you more time as we generate the rest of them, right?
Right. So just when I'm ready to do course and lessons, I could just throw it in there.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and click on, you just created one by accident, so you can either delete that or we can edit it. We can just edit that.
Oh.
Doesn't matter, delete it.
Oh.
Let's create a new one. Let's create a board and call it status.
Board status.
And then sort group by status. So it's already doing that automatically. You're going to want to give it a card preview by page cover. And that should be pretty good. So go ahead and hit done. Let's go ahead and add another view. And we will call that gallery. So, yep, and we'll just auto sort that by tags. So we want the, let's see here, the card preview either can be from the cover or page content. I think page content might be kind of nice. Okay. You'll see how that works in a second. Okay, hit done. And then let's group this. So if you go to the 3 dot options on the right, it'll be on the right side. And what we want is group, and you can group that by tags. Cool, done. So once you add some tags, it'll auto group it accordingly.
Gotcha.
And you can hide the database title. Cool. Same thing with the status one. I think we forgot to do that on status. You can hide the title. Sweet. All right, cool. So now, if you click off to the left of where it says database template, see that little 6 dots?
Yeah.
Go ahead and duplicate. Open that up, and we'll change the name. So instead of database template, we'll call this one, let's do courses. You can get rid of the word template. Now, in this case, we need to edit the name of this database because it's still called database template. So go to the right and make sure we rename that. So click there. Let's see here. Let me see if I can remember where we renamed the database. We want to show our title again. So try clicking on, let me see if I can remember where to click for that.
Mm.
Can you try clicking there? We basically want to rename this one. So try the 3 dots. Might be under layout at the top. Huh. Oh, show database title. There it was.
There we go.
Yeah. So now you can rename this.
Should I do courses and lessons separate?
So that's an option. You can either do courses and lessons separate. I like to see them together. So
Okay.
let's, and I'll show you how that works here in a second. So, yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Now, so that we don't have to deal with this again, if you go back to the database template and click on table on the left, go ahead and click there. Yep. And turn on the title. That way you can just edit the title later and turn it off when you
read it.
Duplicates. Love
Gotcha.
it. All right, cool. So go ahead and create under schools, we're going to create a course that goes inside of your passion project. So go back down. So on the right side, go ahead and choose passion project. And so what is a course that's under the passion project?
I was thinking this is when I have to go play with it still because I do want to do the 5-point process, but I was wondering if I should do them separately, or I think in the free it'll just all be together. So the 5-point process.
Okay. Cool. And then if that's started or not started or in progress, you can select there. Okay, now go ahead and click on status. I want to add one that says due next. So edit property. And under to do, add one that says due next. That's not there. And you can put that under not started. And maybe give it a color so that you know. So go ahead and drag that under not started.
Yeah. All right.
Sweet. Okay, cool. All right, so you can hit done on that. Sweet. And under
That could be, that qualifies.
there you go. Now let's go to status, the status board on the view. Not there. Let's go to the status view, the Kanban board view.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can see what to do next. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a second grouping. So if you click on the three dots next to new, let's go to our options.
3 dots next to view.
Yep, so there you go. And let's add a subgroup by school. Nice, done. So now as you start adding items into the other schools, you'll know what to do next and whatnot, and that separates it. So you can see what to do next when you're working on Passion Project, what to do next when you're working on the Passion Project paid, and you can even use this to know what to do next, like such as what to study next or what activity to do next on any other groups you're part of. Got you. Sweet. All right, so you got courses and lessons kind of set up. You know the basics of how to edit the views and things like that. And let's go ahead and do the next database. Oh, actually, first, before we do that, let's go ahead and go back to table view. And what we're going to do is we want to be able to open up any course and see what lessons and folders are inside that course. Mm-hmm. That way you can basically create courses like creating an outline.
Right.
So the way we're going to do this is we're going to turn on subtasks, and that allows you to put things inside of things.
Gotcha.
Customize courses and lessons towards the bottom. I'll go back. See that? Yeah. So this is where we can turn on sub items. And we can also choose whether those go inside of our, on your Notion homepage or not, but I'm not worried about that now. So what I want to do now is we're going to create a default template. So right there, call it course template. Okay, toggle that open. Go back a step. So the little triangle to the left of course template. I would call that, so inside of courses, you have folders and you have pages. So go ahead and do folder. Just folder.
There.
And then under folder, you can add page.
Under, like, toggled?
Yep, you toggle it open and add a page.
Gotcha.
So let's say that by default, maybe you want every time you create a new course, you could have it where it comes pre-set up with, you know, folder 1 is, like maybe it comes with 3 folders with 3 pages each. So now you have 9 pages, so a 9-part lesson that's broken into 3 parts. That would be one way that you could create a structure. Every time you create a new course, you have a default structure.
Right.
So let's actually do that. So we're going to call this where it says course template, call it basic course or short course template.
Basic.
Okay. And can you open up Skool real quick?
Oh yeah.
So basically what we're doing is we're more or less rebuilding Skool right now. So if you go to your passion project and go to classroom, doesn't really matter which one you want to open, just click on one. So on the top right where there's the 3 dots.
Froze for some reason.
Your mouse?
Yeah. Usually if I pull it off and put it back on.
You could also just close Skool and reopen it, I suppose, but there you go.
There we go.
So 3 dots at the top right, I believe. So what can you do? You can either add a folder, add a page, edit the course, copy the course link. So let's add a folder. Okay, all you can do is basically change the name and set it to draft or publish. So just call it, you know, sample folder or whatever. Now, on the 3 dots there, yep, what can you do? Okay, you can add a page inside of a folder. So we're learning how this system's set up. In order to edit this page, you have to click on edit at the top right. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right, and so you can give the page a title. Right, you can give it a video. And then there's one other thing you can do is, see on the left where it says add? That's what I wanted to know. So you can add a resource link, a file, a transcript, and pin a post, right? All right, so let's rebuild this system inside of Notion now.
Okay. That makes sense. So basic course template, we got folders, we got pages, and then
And inside the page, you have your, let's see here.
What was it? Resource
Link, I think.
Yeah.
I think there's a resource file.
And then also a resource file.
I believe there was a transcript.
Transcript and community post.
Yeah. And before you do community post, let's go ahead and create a database for for posts. So go ahead and go back to the dashboard and make a duplicate of your database template.
Yes, it's making sense now. I can feel myself flowing better.
Nice.
So
call that posts.
Posts.
Sweet. And now we don't have to worry about editing this too much, because we just want to be able to relate it. So now if you go back to courses and lessons, instead of putting it as a drop down there, just go ahead and add a property and relate that to posts. Do you want to show it two-way? Let me think. That one, let's show on community posts as well. Done. Okay.
So that way, every time I post, I know if it belongs in.
Exactly.
Got you.
So we'll call that. Go to the right. Actually, let's rename it to pinned post. Cool. All right, we're coming along really good. go ahead and on the top right corner, the 3 dots, let's add this dashboard to your favorites, the very top right corner. So anytime I create a new page that I want to be able to get quick access to, I always add it to favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also give it an icon. So there's a couple ways to give an icon to your pages. One is to scroll to the very top of the page and add an icon there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can either choose an emoji, an icon, or upload something custom. So let's maybe do like, there you go. So whatever you
Let's see, board. Let's do this one. Clipboard. Go purple.
There you go. You can even do like a home icon or whatever, because this is really your home for your passion project. But you can set that later. Okay. The other way to quickly set the icon is on the left side under where you see it in the nav menu. You could also click on the icon from there, I believe. Or on desktop, you usually can.
Okay.
But that's how you adjust the icons of any page. So icons make it really easy to find your way around the outline around the left.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you can either leave the old tasks, projects, meetings, and docs in there, or you can delete those. Before you delete them, let me show you one thing. So let's say that you had those set up. Well, first of all, go ahead and toggle open dashboard. And let's just see what's inside. So that's another quick way you can get to each of those databases you just added.
All right.
So now if you click on, let's say, click on that, and then you can add an icon for each one.
Got you. So schools.
Yep.
Boom.
There you go.
I like that one. Let's go.
I would go with the school one. Because you're going to want 3 different icons for 3 different purposes. So the school, take a picture of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And for the courses and lessons, maybe that's where you might want to do the cap or
Right.
or a backpack. I would say a course is, yeah, I don't know, either a cap or a backpack, or an apple would be a course. I don't know. You know, we can kind of figure this out. Now, another thing you can do, open up your basic course template.
Where are we at here?
Yeah. So toggle open your basic course template, and let's give the folder a folder icon. So hit open on folder. Give that a folder icon. Okay, let's go back. Go ahead and toggle open underneath that. There you go.
Let's see. Boom.
Yep. And let's give the basic course template an icon, and then the items under page an icon as well.
What's something that works as a template?
If it's the course one, I would use the Apple maybe, or wait, what are we at? I'm not sure what you're on actually.
Basic course template.
Oh, for the course template, so that's every time you create a new course, what does the course look like? Maybe, so the course is either going to be a hat or something like that, or a backpack.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let's see what we got here. So we've got, perfect. Now go ahead and open up the page. Okay, so let's add a link, a file, and something to represent transcript.
File.
That's funny.
Yeah. Random. Maybe this one.
Cool. All right. So now you have your basic, you've basically started to rebuild the.
So then I could hit duplicate when I'm ready to create something.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and duplicate that now.
Duplicate.
And this one we're going to call a 3-part course template.
Part course template.
Okay. And open that up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate that folder. And so before we duplicate the folder, let's do 3 pages per folder. And now let's do 3 folders that'll have the 3 pages. Right.
Yeah.
So now if you wanted to, I don't know if this is a good use of our time right now, but you could basically call the folders part 1, part 2, part 3. And then the pages could be, you know, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, 5, 6, 7, right?
Okay.
And that gives you a 3-part course template.
2. All right. I'll do the lessons.
Yeah. And we can use a tag. So let's do this now. So let's tag this as, so let's toggle all of this open. So toggle open the basic course template. Yep, toggle open the whole thing. I don't think there's anything under those, so no worries. Go to the 3-part one, toggle that all open. There may be a shortcut for this, but it's all good. And also open up the pages.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm going to show you a kind of interesting trick.
Oh, no, we don't need that. 2, 3.
Okay, so now while those are toggled open, start at basic course template. Let's add a tag. Just call it a template.
Template.
And what we want to do is we want to call all of those underneath the template. So if you click off to the right of the word template, man, it's on desktop, there's usually a little, so on the bottom right corner of that, oh, there it is. So that little dot, click and drag down. And it'll autofill it all the way down with that same item. And so you can now click on that next item and do the same thing. Yeah. So that's a quick way to like.
I don't know if I'm doing it. I think.
There you go.
Oh, I'm not doing it. Hold on. Where did you go? There. Boom.
So now what you can do, oh, yeah, you got a little ways to go.
Yeah, because for some reason, there you go. For some reason, it won't keep going. I have to drag it up and then do it again. There we go. Boom.
I'll show you a couple of tricks after this. But now the 5-point process would be you can tag that as a course, I guess. I don't know, or as a, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now the next thing that we can do is so we're tagging that as a template. So actually, let's do this. Let's add another property. And this is where Notion starts to get a little tricky because you almost have to think ahead a few steps in terms of what properties you're doing. So let's add a property.
Right here.
And you have multi-select and select. Select is when you only want one thing. Multi-select is when you want a bunch of things, right?
Mhm.
So let's go ahead and create a select field. Or I'm sorry, let's create a multi-select. I apologize.
Okay.
And we're going to call this type. So what type of item is this? So again, you want the multi-select, and you want to name it, instead of naming it multi-select, you're going to call it type. Okay. Done. And so this is where you would call every page a page, every folder a folder, and so on. And that's going to make it easier to sort by only folders, only pages, and so on. So this is where you get into a little bit of a manual process. But will your iPad let you drag the type column to the left?
Drag the type column. This.
Yeah.
Drag it
Will
to the
it let
left.
you drag that to the left or change
Yeah.
the order? Nice. So let's bring that all the way to the left. Okay, so this is where, go ahead and change the property, the one that says tags. Click on the property title at the top, or the column title.
Column title.
It says the word tag to the right.
Oh, sorry.
Let's edit property and change that to a select field. Okay, and just change that to select, or no, let's call that template question mark. Hit done. Sweet. And I'll tell you why we're doing that in a second. And so for type on your basic course template, so on that second row in your spreadsheet here, where it says basic course template, set the type to course. Done. Set the folder to folder, page to page.
Let's do yellow. Oh.
And I'm not even really worried about those extra things. But you can either tag those all as the same type or not, but we won't worry about that right now. So you're going to do the same thing on the other templates that we have below. Don't worry about it right now, though.
Okay. Course, folder, page. Gotcha.
But that's gonna, when you add more views, that'll allow you to filter it by just show me courses or just show me pages that are in progress, right? So let's go ahead and add a. So now another thing you'll want to know is if you go to status, the status view, not that, but the actual view, the Kanban board view.
Okay.
So right now it's not going to show you the sub items, so it won't show you the status of your pages. It's just showing you the top level. So you have to go to the edit the layout next to the blue new button, the 3 dots. And you have to tell it that it's okay to show you the, so let's go back. Let's see if I can remember where you tell it that it's okay to show you the sub items. It's probably under customized courses and lessons.
Oh.
Advanced settings. Okay, it's not there. Let's go back. Click on sub items. Oops. I think you already did, but show as card property. Go ahead and where it says show as, can you open that? Okay, we don't need that. Let's click off. Okay, go back. Back. We're basically just looking for something that says show sub items.
Properties.
Oh, there it is. So that shows which sub items are attached to the course. That's not actually what we want.
Oh.
So let's go back. Let's see here. Filter, sort, group, load limit. Try going back to layout real quick. Here, I'll do a quick search. Give me one sec.
Okay, no worries.
So that should be under the sub items menu that we were at. I'm not sure why it wasn't showing up. Let's try one more time. Can you share your screen? We're going to get a little bit too deep in the weeds if we keep on going. So I want to make sure that you got enough muscle memory without too much. But I'm going to show you one other thing after this that's really cool. Okay, so go to, so let's go ahead and click on that three-dot menu again to open up the layout options, the view options, I mean, and let's go back to customize courses and lessons towards the bottom. Click on sub items, advanced settings. That's so weird. Okay, done. All right, we'll figure that out later. But we want to be able to see, right now, we're not really filtering out the pages. We actually want to see what pages are in progress. So that's what I need to figure out how to turn back on for you.
Gotcha.
But you kind of get the basics there. So if we go back to the dashboard.
Back to dashboard.
All right, so you can toggle open schools and members if you wanted. So you can make this page nice and neat and only see what you care about at the moment. So like members we're not really worried about, you can toggle that down. You can check off courses and lessons because we just added that. Okay, database template, we can minimize that. Okay, community posts, you can minimize that. So like right now your page is basically pretty nice and neat. You can also drag that up if you wanted, but I wouldn't worry about that right now. So let's scroll to the top. So you've got your schools, easy to add new schools. Right now you're just looking at your schools. And down below you've got your courses by status. So now you've got a system to start playing and designing.
Right.
The next thing I'm going to show you, if you go to School Gallery.
School Gallery.
You can do this either as a table or as a school gallery. But actually, let's go to the table, school table. And let's add a new school called default school or template school template. Okay, let's okay. And I'm going to show you how to do what's called a linked view and how to do a self-referencing filter. And this is like the sweet spot. This is the magic sauce right here. So go ahead and open up the school template and go ahead and add a new go ahead and hit slash on the page portion of it. So go down underneath there, yeah. Hit slash. And now you're going to hit slash linked view, L-I-N-K, or linked. We don't want a database. We want a linked view. There you go.
Yes.
Yep. So what that does is it takes one of your existing databases and puts it on the page.
Right, so you can see it.
Yep. So courses and lessons. And you can select which view you want to start with, or just hit done.
School table.
Up.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and hit done. That's fine. So now that put that there, and go ahead and hit filter. And you're going to filter it by schools, and then grab school template. So now every time you duplicate this page, watch this. So change the word school template to school, template XYZ. Just type in XYZ at the end.
I see it.
So see how it's changing the filter?
Right.
So, okay. So now go ahead and hit save for everyone.
So
And
every time I come in here, add a new school, it creates an entire new, or every time I duplicate a template, this
Yep.
template.
Yep. It'll auto filter by the stuff you want to filter it by.
I see.
Which is great. So let's go ahead and add underneath that.
I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Slash linked view. And let's add community posts. And then we'll add members after that. Done. And you're going to filter that as well. But you can go ahead and add members next, and then we can filter them. Doesn't matter what order. Okay, let's go ahead and filter those.
A school template. Okay, for everyone. Filter by school template.
Cool. Save for everyone. We would also add things like projects and tasks later, but this is a great start. Now go ahead and set on the top right corner, set this to full page. So the very top right corner, yeah, full width. Done. And let's go back to the school's database. So go back a step. And now what we're going to do is turn this into a template. So go ahead and give an icon for the school. You can click on that little icon there, I think. Yeah. I would just use the school picture, yeah.
It's one of these.
Yeah. And now on the top right, to the right of where it says new.
It's a little drop down.
Yep. So this is where you could create a new template, either from scratch or go back and click on the one that we just made. I believe we can save it as a template. So go ahead and open that up. And let me see if I can remember how to save it as a template. It should be up there on the top right.
Thank you.
Does it let us save it as a template from here?
I think so. Maybe from here. Oh.
Maybe the 3-dot menu.
Right here.
No, that wouldn't be it. Okay, so go to the drop down, I guess. New template. And let me go, I'll figure that out for you for next time, I guess. But long story short, what you're going to do is you're going to take what you just filled in there, turn it into a template, and then when you hit, and then you can create new templates over and over from the right side.
Gotcha.
Or you can duplicate it from here.
Okay. No worries.
So that's how you can quickly duplicate that template. And over time, you'll make that dashboard page better and better and better. And then you'll be able to apply it to Passion Project or so on, which is great. So that's how you do the self-filtering fields and then create templates so that every time you create a new school, it'll autofill with that template,
Gotcha.
which is really, really great. So that's the basics of Notion and how to build from scratch.
Nice.
Some last notes for you is, you know, if you want to take notes or anything like that, just add a new page in Notion, use it as like a notebook. So you can add your notes and you'll start getting comfortable with how to organize those and stuff.
Right.
So that's kind of the basics. Should we go ahead and schedule our next one?
Yes. Let's do it.
Now we have foundations, which is awesome. All right. Go ahead and stop recording.